to movies and toys and TV shows, comics and collecting and superheroes. There's no end to the useless stuff they know. But don't call them geeks, they're just regular Joes.
Welcome to the Regular Joes podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
I'm Todd Pleasant.
What's going on, everybody?
That
All
was
good stuff.
Kind of like fool thing. I didn't say and Todd Pleasant.
Well, you did that last week.
So
I noticed that.
People would anticipate others jumping in.
Exactly.
So,
and maybe they will sooner than later, or later than sooner.
Yeah.
We'll see. We will see.
Keeping the audience on its toes. I like it.
Exactly. Big changes coming soon, people. We'll see. We just don't know when to pull the trigger.
We're working on it. We're easing ourselves into it.
I think it's fine. I think it's like a semi-well-oiled machine.
Yes.
No?
No.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Or as Daryl from Newhart said, a very oily machine. We are a very oily machine.
That was fun. That finale came up like a week ago on some feed. It's the greatest finale of any TV show ever.
I gotta say, that was utterly brilliant. And just, absolutely brilliant. So,
and I knew I watched the Bob Newhart show because when you were a kid, that's it. You had 3 channels and you watched everything.
yeah.
I don't know that I watched. I guess I watched Newhart. I remember Daryl, my other brother Daryl. I remember the sweaters on his wife.
Yep.
I don't remember much else, but I don't know if I watched all 8 seasons of that show or however many there were. But the finale was
absolutely.
best.
And the interesting thing was that, the Bob Newhart show just kind of died quietly. They didn't have a definitive finale.
Yeah.
So this was kind of like, like that never ended, and this is still going on. So for those of you who have not seen the finale of Newhart, basically the show gets more more absurd and more absurd and more absurd, and then he gets hit by a golf ball and knocked out and wakes up in bed with his wife from his previous sitcom, who's Suzanne Plachette, and the entire series Newhart was a dream. So it was great.
And you have to know who Bob Newhart is, have watched the Bob Newhart show in the 70s to appreciate any of this.
I think a lot of people have knowledge of that.
I think so, too.
I think at the time, as you said, Dave, there were so few options that people watched a lot of that stuff. Now, with everything being so separated and bifurcated and the audiences being so much smaller, I'm not sure that would work today.
Now, if I told you, okay, here's this new show I'm watching. It's about a psychiatrist in Chicago and his wife and their friends, and nothing else really happens other than that. That's what the show was about.
Well, that was like Seinfeld. Was a show about a guy and a couple of his friends.
Yeah.
But it was not like, oh, there was a genie. Oh, there was, a witch. Oh, there was...
It was same thing as Frasier, right? They just used the same kind of premise.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Gave him different people in his circle.
But there aren't shows like that anymore, is kind of my point.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. True, anyway. They tried. But that was a tried and true... This is not our theme for that. That was a tried and true thing for years, where you gave somebody a interesting job, an interesting cast of supporting characters, and then just went off from there. And that, I think, Dick Van Dyke Show, right?
Everything, all those shows, Mary Tyler Moore show.
All of that is. But I'm saying it goes. I can't think of one of them before the Dick Van Dyke Show. I'm sure there were ones that were less. More obscure, but you have the work friends, and then you have the home life, and then you have the the neighbors, and that was.
It is amazing how many of those shows revolved around media, whether it was a newsroom or a radio station or something working in television.
There was a cultural fascination with that. I mean, the idea that Rob Petrie was a writer for the Alan Brady Show. That was interesting in of itself, even though we never really saw, any of that happen. and really they just kind of hung out around the water cooler sort of thing. It was just yeah.
Yeah.
That's a show I haven't seen for years.
I watched one or two like a month ago. It's still funny.
Just for, let's just say, vintage Mary Tyler Moore. It's
oh my God, yes, that's exactly why I watched it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Well, and Dick Van Dyke is 99 and
he's
getting
still
ready
alive.
to turn 100. And I saw an article today that he's joking about how funny it would be if he didn't make it to 100.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Hey, God bless him.
I know.
It's
yeah.
Him and Julie. It just occurred to me, him and Julie Andrews, because there was just the thing about Julie Andrews. They're still alive. I mean, that's amazing.
How old is Julie Andrews?
She's also very, very old. Yeah.
I don't think she's that old though, as him. It's just someone else that I just looked up and I was like, they're still alive, and I don't remember.
She's
who
90.
Was.
Julie Andrews is 90.
Oh,
so there's more of an.
She just turned 90 on October 1st.
Yeah. But yeah.
Someone. Again, this is all random, but it's fine. There was a picture of a bunch of sitcoms, and they showed like the cast, and all the people who had passed away were gray, and each of them had one person that was in color who was still alive, and I can't remember. So one, I was shocked that someone was still alive, and I don't remember. Like the cast of Three's Company, everyone's dead except for Joyce DeWitt, and none of those people are crazy. Would be crazy old. Some of them died pretty young.
Yeah,
and John Ritter, but same thing with Laverne and Shirley. Almost all of them except for one are dead.
It's an interesting one. Is well, neither of you guys watched this, but almost the entire cast of Babylon 5 is dead, and that show was Oh my God,
90s show.
It's a 90s show. There's like, 2 living cast members. But insane.
They died of embarrassment from being on Babylon 5, right?
They did not. It's an awesome show, and it always will be. If you watch it on a
take
very
that back.
small screen. But yeah, no, it's amazing how many of those the main actors of that show are.
That's
Walter
crazy.
Koenig, he's one of the few that are still, because he was on that show, right?
He was a recurring character, but
Yeah.
but it's like, there's Bruce Boxleitner and Claudia Cushing are still alive, but I'm saying that's about it. It's pretty amazing. So
Anyway, that was good random. Let's do some other random.
okay,
Barry, what do you got?
So while Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas have not officially confirmed that they're dating, there are 100 news reports that they're planning their wedding in space.
Oh, please. That's such bullshit.
I mean, it was last year. It was that he's going to shoot the first ever movie in space, and now they've leapfrogged that. And I guess while they're up there shooting the movie, he'll get married.
I'm just wondering,
really
who his publicist is planning his next relationship with right now. That's all.
Yeah, well, I mean, he gets not confirmed to be with an awful lot of people, but doesn't confirm to be with anybody.
He deserves Ana de Armas, in my opinion. So I'm all for it. What?
I think he's too old for her, personally.
I think he is too.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck dumped her, or whatever. They broke up. What was that all about?
I'm sure that was a him thing and not a her thing.
What's the odds of him going back to J-Lo for the third time?
Yes. Did you ever see the cardboard cutout thing with him? With her?
No.
Okay. After they broke up, okay, he put out at the curb at his house with the trash was a cardboard cutout of her, life size. There's pictures of it everywhere, and it's like that is the ultimate phase of a breakup when you throw out the cardboard cutout of your ex, and it was like, yeah.
What's actually more telling is that they had a cardboard cutout of her in the house.
I'm sure some studio or whatever sent it over, but it was.
Or she insisted on having it in the room because she wanted to see herself all the time.
Anna's a good.
No, we're not talking about Ana de Armas. We're talking about J-Lo.
I thought you were talking about Ana de Armas.
No, Ana de Armas.
Oh, J-Lo, I totally believe that. That makes way more sense.
And it was like a month or so afterwards. It was like it was there.
All right, I'm wrong. Fold it in half and put it to the curb. At least
it was. Yeah, but you could still see what it was. It was like
he was just at the premiere of some Spider Woman, not Kiss of the Spider Woman, not a super. And they seem to be getting along. So
I think he was there to support his kids more than anything. But what do I know?
Why would his kids be there for?
He doesn't have kids with J-Lo. I'm not that familiar with his personal life to be clear.
They were married for a year.
Oh, he has his kids with the other Jennifer he married.
But they were together before, like previously.
He only has kids with one of our favorites, Jennifer Garner.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
it didn't work out with Ana de Armas because her name's not Jennifer. Apparently, he only works out.
That doesn't work out either. So,
yeah. Todd, what do you got?
So, I had a little texting issue last week, and I sent you guys a couple things that you never got. But one of those things was a really cool video on the making, on the choreography for the Peacemaker video, for the Peacemaker dance sequence in the opening.
In season 2, right? Which is different from the one in season 1.
The choreographer is a woman named Carissa Barton, okay, who is Alan Tudyk's wife. And,
really?
And it was funny in the video. She says, I'm married to Alan Tudyk, the actor. And I'm like, you didn't have to tell us he was an actor. You really did. None of the audience for this show do you have to tell that she's an actor. But it was actually kind of cool because, like, the actors are ripping on each other because some of them are, like, so low energy and some of them are barely into it. And Robert Patrick is like, his character's flipping over and do all this stuff, and then they cut to the foreground, and it's not him. He's standing there holding the mask. He says, "There, the young guy to play me." He says, "I can't dance for shit."
They talk about the dancing on the podcast, and there's so many people they think suck.
Oh my God! It was just like, but the people that were really into it, who were like really, really into it. But the people that weren't were just they
were saying like, I hate it. I don't want to dance. I'm not doing this. Why are you forcing me to do it?
Is apparently a very good dancer. Okay, and it's like, and you kind of see some of this, but it was like, this is like a lot of the people on Wires. There was a reason for that. It's cool. It's good to watch. I would definitely suggest checking it out.
Yeah, I'll have to look for that.
Yeah, that's funny. This is funny. Speaking of old TV shows, I watched the video. Not that it's again another show I watched as a kid because there was nothing on, but I watched an interview with Larry Wilcox of Chips. Now I don't know how much you guys know about Chips or the behind the scenes. It should be one of those behind the scenes shows. So one of the things was Eric Estrada had such a bad motorcycle accident one season that he almost died, and in this interview, I guess Larry Wilcox who played John Ponch and John was a medic in I think Vietnam, Marine Corps medic, so he sort of basically saved his life. But that was interesting enough. But Eric Estrada makes William Shatner look like freaking the most friendly guy in the world. Yeah. Remember Brianne Leary, one of the girls who she was one of the motorcycle cops? He had her fired because she got too popular. And then in season 5, so back then you really pushed to go 6 seasons to be able to go into syndication. He had Larry Wilcox, fired for the 6th season. He literally was like, I want to be the most popular. I have to run the show. I want him off for the final season. Is that the craziest thing?
Well, that says as much about the network as it does him. Like, why the network should have been.
He was the most popular thing. In fact,
do you remember who was the substitute that they brought in at one point?
Yeah, that was my next thing. In season 5, he had issues with something and stayed out for 6 episodes.
Yep.
And Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner, was the replacement. Because I was looking through the chips, it said Caitlyn Jenner, Sergeant Joe Friday or whatever his name was.
Yep.
But
Wow.
like this guy was like had everyone fired because he was. The networks were pieces of shit because they let it happen. But the thing that drew me to that, I saw the headline. I'm like, wait, we've seen these guys at conventions.
Oh yeah,
together. And
well,
Larry
because
Wilcox
it's probably
says,
more profitable for them to do it together.
he's
than
like,
apart.
no, I've forgiven him. He's like, he was who he was. He grew up in a tough neighborhood as a tough kid, and Larry Wilcox was like pretty generous with his acceptance of all that. But I didn't know any of that stuff.
I think Larry Wilcox is a religious person too, maybe. So
Yeah, I think he is too.
He was like a pretty prolific producer too. As a matter of fact.
Eric Estrada was a guest on the Donnie Marie show, okay, and apparently showed too much interest in Marie, okay, that the family hired security
Oh,
to
jeez.
keep them apart. And they basically walked him to because it was all filmed at they had a compound in Utah.
Yeah.
And so basically they brought in, after seeing this, the alleged chemistry between them, they hired extra security to like escort him to and from the set and stay with him the whole time.
He's funny. He's always at shows. I mean, he's been at like 2 or 3 shows that we've been at.
Yep.
There is a website, like he's got his own sort of little signature autograph thing that he'll sign little helmets and full-size helmets and sell all this shit. So, I don't know.
Well, there's
crazy.
like
Did you
12
watch
people.
Chips back in the day?
I'm sure I watched it. Oh, you asked Barry.
I was just going to say there's like 12 people left alive that care about Chips, so he needs to sell all the helmets he can while he can.
Yeah.
It was not like, oh my God, it's the $6 Million Man, my favorite show, but it's something I watched.
It was so formulaic. Okay. It was like
Everything was.
I know, but it was just like, it's like, the horrendous freeway accidents that always happen. You just like see this totally coming, and it was just.
That couldn't have been an easy show to make, though.
No,
them having to be on
not.
motorcycles a lot and all that stuff. Not easy. But anyway, Barry, you got anything else?
Yeah, a couple things. But you mentioned, this wasn't on my list, but you mentioned the accident that he had. Made me think of, on Mark Maron's podcast a couple weeks ago, he had Mark Hamill on, and they were asking him about the car accident that he had around the time of Corvette Summer.
Yep.
Apparently, that was way overblown. Like, it was a very, very minor accident. He broke his nose, and that was the extent of his injuries.
Yeah.
And he just didn't feel like going out and correcting everybody at the time when everybody was saying how he was in this disfiguring accident. And
Yeah, they said he didn't look much different.
no, I mean, they said that he looks different because he got older and he bulked up a little bit, but he didn't look different because his face was like, the rumors and the stories were that he had reconstructive surgery and his whole face was messed
That's why
up.
they put him in the back of the
yep.
tank and the
Yeah,
Wampa.
exactly.
That's all bullshit.
And that the reason that they included the Wampa was to explain why his face looked different.
Yeah.
All that's bullshit.
Yeah, totally. That's funny. Well, it's not funny. It's tragic. But
On the subject of Star Wars, they just wrapped season 2 of Ahsoka.
My son just told me that
that's
at dinner
right.
tonight.
Yes, I did see that.
So I don't know if either of you caught this, but apparently, obviously Amazon bought the Bond franchise, and all of the key art for all the Bond movies that you can get on Amazon, they removed the key art where he's holding the gun. They took the gun. Well, first they took the guns out of his hands, and then they got backlash for that. So now they've changed it all to action scenes from each movie rather than the key art where he's always holding the gun. Even though the 007 logo is literally a gun.
Why would they do that? I saw that in the periphery, but why would you do that?
I can't tell you exactly why.
People who've been killed by a spy. I don't know.
But I can
That's
tell
some
you,
bullshit.
in my previous career, there was a time where I had to review a lot of the artwork that went on our cable service, and the heads of our company didn't want any images that had people with guns in them, even if that was like the artwork that was like traditionally
we couldn't have
accepted.
commercials. We couldn't take commercials that had guns in it. But
So somebody,
that's James Bond.
Somebody in the depths of Amazon thought it was a good idea to airbrush out the guns from the artwork.
Jeff,
I'll send you guys some pictures. I went online and then I actually went on Amazon and looked, and now they've changed it all to just like action shots where he's not holding a gun.
They're already ruining the franchise.
Think of all the 80s movies posters that you could like every 80s poster.
Every Schwarzenegger movie.
Is a guy holding a Beretta. It's like
but we went through a period of time where even Steven Spielberg thought it was the right thing to do to take the guns out of the cops' hands in E.T., and he has even since said that was a mistake. I never should have done that. Like, we're past that point now. If that's what the movie is.
But now guns are beautiful. Everyone should have an assault weapon. It's all good.
I was reading one of the Bosch novels last week, and there was a point in there about Lethal Weapon, and he said that Mel Gibson shooting the gun sideways in Lethal Weapon, probably saved a ton of lives because everyone emulating him couldn't actually hit anything shooting the gun sideways. And that was apparently a big street thing for a while as a result of that.
Oh, that was you see that all the time.
He should have gotten a special award for all the lives saved because no one shooting a gun that way could actually hit anyone.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Speaking of Bosch, Ballard is renewed for season 2.
Oh, I had not heard that yet.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Good, because that ended in a cliffhanger, and
so many things end in a cliffhanger. Ty, you got anything else?
And not and something not in the books, so it's off books. No, I think that was it.
Also, Heat 2 they're talking about Heat 2 being moving forward. That's been talked about for 10 plus years.
When was the last time you watched Heat?
An hour and a half ago.
Seriously?
I literally was watching it.
I watched it 2 days ago, and I hadn't seen it probably in 20 years.
I watched Pam was like, walks in, she's like, "You were watching that yesterday." I'm like, "No, that was this morning." Like, now it's on the rotation, so I've been watching like a half hour here, a half hour there.
And I watched the whole thing, and that is a movie in desperate need of re-editing. It is too freaking long, and there's too many side stories, and I
have not seen that movie since I saw that movie.
I don't know. It's a little slow. It's a little intense, but Michael Mann.
But there are side stories in there that entire storylines that could be lifted out.
Like what? Let's edit it right now on the podcast. What? There's almost no side stories. His marriage failing is one side story.
His marriage failing and her sleeping with the other guy and him kicking the TV out of all that stuff. We didn't need any of that. We didn't need Natalie Portman trying to kill herself.
Well, that just showed what these cops have to deal with.
I guess it just felt to me like there was too much of that, and it just went too slowly.
It's a little long, but I think that stuff really shows what his deal is.
Does not need to be 3 hours.
But it's interesting. Supposedly, I guess there's a book. It's a prequel and a sequel. So I guess the part goes back to them.
Oh, it'll be like Godfather Part 2.
Yeah, I guess so. Something like that. And then, I don't know. Your pal, what's his face? Mad Mardigan. Does he die on film in this movie?
No.
But he gets
they patch him back up, and then towards the end, he's the only one that gets away.
I haven't seen the end in a while.
He comes back, and his wife is in police custody, and they ask her to go out on a balcony.
Oh, that's right. And she gives him the signal.
Gives him a signal.
He is alive.
Yeah.
So the sequel, because I couldn't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen the whole thing. There's his part is a sequel of him in like South America or something. So talk about your side stories. You're gonna hate Heat 2.
Yeah, there was a concise movie in there. It's just very slow and drawn out to me.
Yeah, there's really good parts, but it is a little slow.
Yesterday, October 6th, was a big day for music. I woke up to see that Rush announced that they're going on tour with a drummer to celebrate their music and as a tribute to Neil Peart, which I, for the longest time, never thought would ever happen. I wasn't sure I wanted to happen, but I'm actually really excited about it.
Yeah, me too.
they've got a woman named Annika Niles who's going to be playing drums with them, who is a monster drummer. So no problems there. And if Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson think she's good enough, then that's good enough for me.
Yeah. And it's, I watched the 2 videos. I watched that video, and I'm sure you watched the Hall of Fame.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Which is, do you feel like, that really felt like it wasn't planned?
Well, they certainly planned it, but I don't think the host knew.
Yeah. But that was interesting. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't take away, and I have not read comments, or are there people that are like, you can't be doing this, and
Very few that I've seen, and honestly, I feel like they waited 10 years, first of all.
I don't feel like, first of all, I don't feel like Rush fans would do that. And second of all, I can't believe we saw them 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was 10
I
years
would never
ago.
think it was that long ago.
I know.
That's crazy.
That COVID thing screwed up everybody's perception of time.
I would have, but COVID always makes me think it's shorter. Oh, that was 2 years ago. No, that was before COVID. It's 7 years ago. But this was 10 years ago. I would have said 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been 10 years.
That's crazy.
And they have the blessing of Neil's wife and daughter. Like they've done this in absolutely the best possible way.
I agree.
They're talking about it as a celebration of their music and Neil. They're not talking about it as, well, we've moved on and we've got a new drummer and we're just going back to where we were. So anyway, that was what I woke up to yesterday. Last night I took 2 of my sons to see one of my all-time favorite bands and singer-songwriters. Nobody's ever heard of them, so I don't expect anybody to care. But that was amazing. So I had a great day yesterday for music. And while I was in the city, I had the best. Now, I've talked about this very briefly on the show, but I follow a gluten-free diet, and I had the world's best gluten-free pizza I've ever had in my life at a place called Ribalta, 48 East 12th Street in New York City. All the food was good. The gluten-free pizza was the best. If you told me it was real pizza, I would have believed it.
Really? 48 East 12th Street. So, I'm trying to think where that is. Right off of, not too far off of 5th.
Yeah.
Between 5th and Broadway, I guess.
It's like a block and a half away from Irving Plaza, which is where we went to see the concert. So I had no idea that it was going to be this good. I just found it, knew that it was a place that me and Josh could get food, and it was great. So
there you go.
Yesterday was a great day.
Good day. Good music, good pizza. That's all you really need.
It is all I need.
Good Star Trek, you'd be set.
I was going to say, occasionally good Star Trek, and then you're good.
I'm not sure when the next time we're going to get good Star Trek is. I don't have my high hopes for the next show we're getting, but
no, I don't know if it's true, but I saw an announcement, and there's so much fake shit out there. They said January 26th is when Academy comes out.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Did you see the talk about doing another show with Scott Bakula?
I've seen that too. I think that's bullshit also.
Well, I mean, he's talking about it with one of the producers from the original show from Enterprise, and whose name escapes me at the moment, but
is it a continuation of Enterprise?
No, it's basically more like a political diplomatic thing. It's 20 years later.
It has to be later.
He's either the president of Starfleet or the past president of Starfleet. And they talked about, who his kids would be and what his kids would be doing and this kind of thing. And it sounds like it could be interesting, but very different than anything they've ever done before.
I worry that we're going to have the same problem with Star Trek that we have right now with Star Wars, that there's too many storylines going on in too many time periods, and it just gets confusing for people.
And supposedly these new Paramount people are big on Star Trek.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Would you know who's not good? What?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Before we go there, it's a very random show tonight. Do you want to see another Kelvin Universe movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they got to do something good with it, but I'd love to see closure.
Oh, good, yeah.
I think we just need closure. And
I like that universe. I like those characters. The first movie was great. The second movie was good. The third movie was But I like those characters. I like them.
The first 2 movies were movie scale movies, and the third one felt like an episode. But none of them were bad. I mean, I liked all three of them.
Yeah, and I like Chris Pine and Zachary and
I feel like the third one was we've got to make a movie.
Simon.
We don't really have an idea for it. So
It's another one of those things though where the cast is getting older, and if they don't do it soon, it's just not going to feel.
They're ready for the maroon uniforms. I mean, they're in that era already. So, we're 10 years on, or 10 plus years on. So
yeah, Zachary Quinto was on Today's Show like last week or the week before, and he was like, "Yeah, we're talking about it. Hopefully, we're doing it." Blah blah blah. He's in some TV show. I don't know what the hell Chris Pine's doing. I haven't seen him in a while. The only
downside to it is if you're looking to relaunch the theatrical franchise, do you do it with a cast that you're not going to get 3 movies out of or 4 movies out of?
Or do you do it and acknowledge it's another, you know what I'm saying? Do almost like a crossover thing. Acknowledge that it's another universe.
But for them to reboot again, that's tough. I mean, what else do you do for movies? Unless you're like, oh, it's Strange New Worlds, the movie. We don't need that.
I mean, or you just say, we're going to make 3 or 4 movies with this cast and commit to it. But
why can't they be old? Look at freaking Undiscovered Country. Jesus.
Yeah.
But
Zoe went on to have this massive career after all this, and I'm not sure that you could get her to commit to another series.
Well, she does that show Lioness for Paramount, so there's definitely some strings to be pulled.
I think, like I said, I'd love to see a movie. Just like I said, I would love to see a movie just to wrap it up, and and maybe
shoot 2 back to back.
Maybe at this point it's it's like the motion picture time or beyond that, where they've got to get the crew back together for a mission. You know
what they do? They got to find Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan on that planet.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, but you say shoot 2 back to back, but following the James Gunn rule, you shouldn't go into this without solid.
You
script.
should not. You're right.
So you have to have 2 great scripts if you're going to shoot them back to back.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like they did with Back to the Future 2 and 3.
Yes, I was going to say, and the Avatar movies, which supposedly they're making 12 at a time.
Well, it hasn't worked out so well for any of those things, which is why I'm saying let's have really good stories, guys.
No, I agree. Is there enough? Is Avatar coming out in December? Oh my god!
Yeah, it is. And they're re-releasing Avatar, whatever the last one was called, something with water, to the theaters before the new one comes out.
Oh my god! Go make another Terminator or something.
He's writing one. He literally was out in the press last week saying he's writing a new Terminator.
Is it a sequel to Dark Fate, the world's greatest Terminator movie?
I certainly hope so.
My God, I can't believe they're making another one.
Let me ask you, here's something that I'm not exactly changing gears. How do you know you're married to the right woman? And I'll tell you how. You're doing something for hours wherever, whether it's in your office or your workshop, and you walk in to your wife working at the table watching the first Terminator movie, and you haven't been around for hours. That is the right woman. I'm like, you're watching Terminator without me? I'm gonna raise the ante on that. Okay.
My wife just finished listening to Project Hail Mary for the second time.
Nice.
Yeah, because she loves the book so much. So that's
my wife listened to last week's episode.
8 hours. 8 hours it's 8 hours times 2. That's 16 hours listening to that one book. I think it's more than 8 hours too.
No, that's a commitment. So. That's a real commitment.
She was talking about the other day, and she was saying she's really hopeful for the movie, but really anxious about it because it's got to be as good as the book. And
that's a tough order. That's a tall order.
It's going to be a tough order. It's going to be a big lift.
It's going to be its own thing that hopefully is.
If it's what
in its whatever world it exists in, it's got to be good. But it's not.
But if it's the Martian book to the Martian movie, that's a win.
Yes.
But you also got to think they're 2 very, very different properties, and one of them has a visual and audio.
Oh no, I'm just saying that it was a little different, but it was super good.
Oh yeah, but it was
stuff they cut out was not missed.
It was adapted and condensed, whereas this you got to get there's so much core to the story that
I trust the Lego guys.
Yeah.
No, I don't at all.
Now I'm worried, but
I do.
The fact that they did the Lego movie has not convinced me that they're going to do this justice. If they do, great. You know who's great? Fanboy Collectibles. Lots of stuff talking about some of these things. All Hot Toys. T2 Endoskeleton. More on that. Harley Quinn. Another Hot Toys Harley Quinn. Anakin from Ahsoka. Hot Toys. An X06. Admiral Pike. Interesting. Talking about the maroon uniforms. There's a Predator Hot Toys. There's another Anakin from Return of the Sith or Revenge of the Sith. There's a new John Wick after he's been shot up and wearing a turtleneck under his suit.
Both has the turtleneck and the regular shirt. A lot of versatility with this one.
Oh, yeah. So he's the sort of beat up with the slick hair. That's a ton. Yeah. That's the most Hot Toys we've seen on pre-order from week to week in a very long time. So
there's a lot.
Tons of stuff. Plus Pops and Sideshow and Kotobukiya and Hasbro and all kinds of things. All the stuff you need. Barry, you seem like you wanted to say something.
No. I'm just listening to you wax poetic about Fanboy Collectibles. I'm enjoying it.
There you go. So check those guys out, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut, and tell them the regular Joe say, tons of pre-order. Pre-order some stuff. Okay, go.
There's nothing more exciting than when a package arrives from Fanboy Collectibles. I've gotten a few in the last couple of weeks, and I've very much enjoyed them.
Same here. And
I almost wish you should almost give. You know, what would be fun. Give me a credit card so you don't know they're coming, and then they just show up because we pay for them first. You know,
I actually the one that I opened today, and we're not talking about that one right now, but the one that I opened today was here for a few days. I was savoring opening it.
I got 2 figures in my last box, and one is open, one is not. I try to stage it. I try to just kind of Otherwise, you just don't get all the joy. So,
well, that leads into our topic. We're talking about collecting and displaying because, as you've been hearing for 13 years, we collect stuff, but we also display, and there's a lot of things that come along with that, like. How do you display and where do you display and how often you change it? And I think, I know for me, I don't change up my displays that often, but we all just, we talked about the Todd display case, the Ramona?
Yep.
That we all got now. I have 3. Todd's got somewhere between 2 and 6. Barry's got 1 or 2. So we've all sort of switched over to a new type of display, and with that comes, first of all, dusting. I know that.
Yeah.
But building and rearranging, and it's a thing.
And in your case, it was spackling and painting, and
yeah. I mean, there's I'll send a picture of the wall, but the wall behind me was a total makeover. I took everything off the wall. I had shelves built into the wall, spackled, repainted, and then covered it all.
You need to put a picture of that on. Did you take a before picture?
I have one. Yeah,
but you need to do before and after on Instagram.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I think it looks spectacular behind you, and yeah, and again, these are great cases for not a tremendous amount of money. So
yeah, they were a gigantic pain in the ass to build, though. They are, a difficult.
They're not, but they're sturdy easy. And heavy, and it's a, like I said, it's an undertaking, but
well, and I know we talked about it a little bit on a previous show, but for anybody who's just listening to this, we got these through Wayfair, so Wayfair.com, and the display case is called Ramona.
Yep.
We just discovered, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, I was texting you guys. Apparently there's a case that's just like it available through Amazon, about the same price as well. And the ones on Amazon seem to have more options. Like, you can, the ones that we all got are 3 shelves, so you have basically 4 compartments within the display case. Amazon's got that one, and they've also got one that has 5 shelves, and it's taller.
It's taller. It's like 6 feet. These are 60 some inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we haven't gotten the ones from Amazon, so I can't really speak to the quality. The pictures look the same.
Yeah, for sure.
Really, very much the same. But who knows? But the good news is that it used to be the only place you could get a reasonably priced display case was the Detolf from IKEA, and these are double the size and better made and heavier and much more expensive.
Yeah, the Detolf, which we've talked about, is a staple for collecting, whether it's action figures or, in our world, pops or Legos or helmets, and it's been discontinued. There's a zillion videos on how to tweak them and modify and add lights and all kinds of stuff.
On how to add additional shelves and that are out there that people have made. And
there's all kinds of stuff, but they discontinued it, and that's really a blow to collecting community that was relying on this.
Discontinued it without replacing it with something adequate, because the things that fit in the Detolf don't fit in the replacement.
Not at all.
And I guess if you collect vases, maybe it's just as good, but it's not just as good for $160.
The other thing with these cases is that they're built and rated in a way that you can put a lot heavier things on these shelves and be confident.
Oh, it's substantially heavier duty, and the glass is nearly twice as thick, and it's
all tempered. It's a completely different animal.
So I'm looking at the one on Amazon right now, by the way, and again, prices change on Amazon every day. But if you search Room Tech, TEC, all one word, they have what they call the 4-shelf double door and the 5-shelf double door. The 4-shelf double door, because I think Amazon's doing this Amazon Days thing, right now is $183.
Wow.
That's cheap. So that's cheaper than we got ours through Wayfair.
Yeah. So. But so there's good cases out there. I don't know if they're... The thing with that's with Wayfair, that I don't know how long stuff lasts, because buying other things, like whether they're couch cushions for the outside. I know we just went through something where we needed an extra cushion. They don't make it anymore. I worry about that.
I think Wayfair does a lot of closeouts and they get one and dones, and I don't know if this is that. But
and there's no way we paid roughly $220 for these things, give or take,
delivered
with free shipping. It's a 150-pound thing made out of tempered glass for $220 shipped. It makes no sense. It shouldn't be that.
If you want one of these, buy one. Buy two.
Again, $183 on Amazon right now. It's a steal.
I have two. I guess I have 5 total, and I have and I'm probably going to buy another one, just to have another one. But again, they're great. It's twice the size. It's like 2 Detolfs together with no dividers, and much better made. Gives you a lot more options because of the space. You don't.
Yeah, I would say between... 2 Detolfs versus this is probably 120% of the space.
Yes.
Well, the other thing too, sure. Like so many of us dreamed about having like a wall of display cases, but at thousands of dollars per case, you could never afford it. At $200 a case, you can afford to put 3 or 4 of these. Provided you have the space, 3 or 4 of these along a wall is unbelievable.
Well, back in the day, we all would be like store closeouts and all this, trying to get really nice display cases.
Oh my God, I did my first display cases. That's where I got them.
Well, Todd, the ones behind you, those wooden ones, those were not cheap, I'm sure.
Oh, those are crazy expensive. Those are about, I think they were about $800 a piece, and they're now like $14.
Yeah, and not easy to use because they are
and I went the other route. What I have behind me in this room, I literally built them into the walls, and I had to build them myself and buy all the glass and sliding glass door tracks, and it was a big project.
Yeah, that was a big project.
But having things under, like, especially when you're collecting Hot Toys figures and things like that have fabric in them, having them under glass is a must. Okay, I mean, you can't have these things sitting out on open shelves and get dusty because there's just no way to clean them. You can try to use compressed air and stuff like that, but you're never gonna. Once they get grimy, they're not gonna get clean again.
Oh, and it's so true. Almost anything that you're going to display looks better behind glass. It just does. And I don't know. It's a psychological thing, but curated items behind glass just look better than things sitting on a shelf.
I will say,
absolutely.
I had about 8 people from school here last week. We had a potluck, and we ran tours through the Greenfield Museum of Pop Culture, and people were just blown away, and they were just like, how did you get all this stuff in here? It's like all these cases and all this kind of stuff, and it was just like, and people don't expect to see this in somebody's office, and it's a little extreme. We put up pictures years ago. I look at those pictures that we took in like 2016, and it looks like all 3 of our collections have doubled since then, at least. Barry and I probably worse than even Dave, but.
Well, I joke all the time, Todd. When we started this podcast, I had 2 Hot Toys figures.
Yeah, oh my God.
I know how many I have now.
I had no original props.
100 club.
I am not going to. I know the number, but I'm not going to share it on the podcast. But it's well over 100.
That's what I'm saying. It's yeah. And so, but also having them, you want to display them. And that's the
whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no point in owning them if you're just going to put them in storage.
Yeah.
And the downside, one downside to collecting these figures is for every, 4 inches or 5 inches wide by 12 inches tall thing that you need to put on a shelf, there's a box 4 times that size that's got to get stored somewhere. So it's not even the shelf space in the room. You need to save those boxes. And
I had in my previous house, we had neighbors that moved away 25 years ago, and I had not seen them in 25 years. They came to visit me last week, and I gave them the tour down here. And she asked me, when she looked around, she's like, "You have the boxes for all these?" I'm like, "Yes, my attic has a box for every single thing you see behind these glass."
Yeah, I've got shelves and shelves. So I was over at Daryl's, years and years ago, and he opened the Hot Toys 66 Batman. Okay.
We were there all there.
Oh yeah, were we all there? Okay,
yes,
so
and I remember him.
He took it out, took the accessories in a box, and then proceeded to crush the box and put it in recycling. And we were like, what are you doing? And it was like, but you get to a certain point, and you can't save everything like that. But
these boxes should, or worse, I used to save the box to everything. My attic at one point, even I had boxes to televisions and stereo equipment that I didn't own anymore.
Yeah, see, I do.
I stopped doing all that.
120 days on electronics, and that's it. It's gone. You can't return it. But like the boxes for these things, I'm now to the point where I keep statue boxes and I keep 1/6 figure boxes and like prop replicas and things like that. I've got to be really sure it's going to be worth something someday.
No, I have too many. I have like,
my motivation for keeping them originally was, if I ever move, it's a hell of a lot easier to put everything back in its box than it is to pack it all. And that may still happen.
Never put this stuff back in the box. When I moved into this house from my other house, which I had is almost as much display, every G.I. Joe went in a Ziploc bag. There's no way you're putting them back in those boxes.
I don't think I'd move any other way. I just don't think I would, because I don't know that these things are delicate enough that I don't know if you don't put them back in their box if they make it safely.
Yeah, I didn't move that far, but I don't know. But
I look at things and obviously you can't see them behind me, but like out in the other room, like the Master Replicas AT-AT replica that I have, that box is a coffin. But like I can't imagine ever moving that without putting it back in its original shipping box.
No, that's true. I mean, the Tomy Enterprise, the Ghost Pack. I mean, these are big. If you don't have attic space, forget it.
Yeah, I got to say,
crazy.
I forget sometime how much is in my crawl space. I put all my boxes that don't have accessories in them. Okay. Because like all my Hot Toys boxes, I've labeled those. I used a label maker and made a label for the end of those, so I know what's in every single box, so that I can get to the accessories when I want to. I never do. And then, but like all the stuff that's just styrofoam, like the statue boxes and like the Tomy box, the big huge Enterprise, those all go in the crawl spaces where I cannot get to them easily, but they're there. Mm-hmm. So that's a whole other aspect to this. So
it is definitely something to think about if you're just starting out on some of this stuff. Is to make sure that if you're planning on like long-term collecting, that you have not just the space to display everything, but the space to store.
You got to wonder how many people have storage units for stuff like this, because we all have relatively good-sized houses with basements, and there's a lot of places where people don't. And, for sure. And it's just like for the house I had before this, that was good, but it didn't have a basement and it had really no storage to speak of. And I had to have all my boxes and things like that in a separate storage space. And that's complicated in itself. I will say, having less storage space in that house, I told myself, I bought a lot of stuff telling myself that I would display it someday. Well, I hit someday, and I'm 10 years into someday now. And some of that stuff is still in boxes.
Really?
I really need to seriously think about. Yeah, stuff that there's not a lot. There is some stuff that I said, someday I'm going to display this. I've got to go through and start purging that, because I just don't need stuff that's not, that's never going to see the light of day.
Well, and I'm on the opposite side of that coin, because there are things that I've had on display for years that are no longer on display.
Is that rotation, Barry, or is that just...
Well, some of it's rotation, some of it is changing interests, but I have to decide, is it ever going to go back out, or is it time for me to, pass that on to somebody who's going to enjoy it more? I mean, that's part of it. And you hear, like, we Dave and I spend a lot of time watching the prop replica collectors, but then also the real prop collectors. And a lot of these, and I even see this with guitar collectors, people really think of themselves when they're really in deep as like they're the current owner of the thing, but they know that they're not going to be the last owner of it, because at some point they're going to move it on and it's going to go to somebody else. And I think, like, I'm seeing that now, like a good example.
You're kind of the steward of something for that moment.
Yeah, I mean, at some point while we were doing this podcast, I decided I wanted all the Indiana Jones toys from the 70s and 80s.
Yep.
And I bought them all, and I had them all for a long time, and I had them on display for a long time, and now I'm in the process of moving those out to somebody else because I don't see myself displaying them again. So that was an easy one for me, because it's 10 figures and 4 play sets, and boom, it's easy. Some of the other things that I have and that we have, I have a hell of a lot more of it than that.
Yeah.
Another good example, my Eagle Moss ships. I don't have as many as you guys, but I have probably 24, and right now most of them are in a box in my attic. So
well, that's interesting.
I have 30 behind me.
I have a bunch of them out in different parts of the house, but the bulk of them are up in a box.
Well, this past week, one of the things when I shifted to these, I had a wooden bookshelf with all the big Eagle Moss, like maybe a dozen, and like 20 small ones, and then there's another 20 small ones in the attic. I'm not displaying the 20 small ones. I don't have the room for it, and like, why have a 3-inch Enterprise and the same 12-inch Enterprise? It makes no sense.
When I got the bigger ones, I actually passed off my smaller ones to Sean. But
that's something that did not make the new cases, and I'm fine with that. But I've got like 30, 40, maybe more small Eagle Moss Star Trek ships. Just the prospect of figuring out how to sell them is more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I've thought about it. I do see them selling occasionally, and I was thinking about grouping them in like threes.
I was just going to sell all.
Are the Eagle Moss ships the new Playmate Star Trek figures?
No. There's still people that buy them.
It's funny.
There's a lot of duds out there.
I just looked on eBay, and there were some. I don't know if I had them, but like there are $50 ones.
Yeah,
There are ones no one wants, but I may just sell the collection. But they're in like 3 different places, because I actually had the subscription where you get the magazine, and then you'd get the freaking Vulcan ship from some episode no one cared about. Like, there's half a dozen. There's like more than a dozen and a half ones that who gives a shit about.
Yeah, see, I never had the subscription on those. I was very picky and choosy about the ones I got, but I decided I want every version of the Enterprise. And then I'm like, well, I need the Klingon ship, and I need the Romulan ship. And just by doing that, you end up with 24 of them.
Yeah, and like I said, I got 33 sitting here behind me, and I'm perfectly happy with this 33. There's a couple other things I would add, but it's but then I gotta have 50 or 60 in a box.
It's too much. I just don't know what to do with that.
And those are among the things that will go.
I think that it's healthy though to cull the collection every now and then, and
but
reevaluate.
Then there's things like, okay, no one will ever make anything like the Eagle Moss Batmobile collection again. And I have every single one of those. I have maybe a quarter of them on display, but I would still never sell the other ones. So those I'm perfectly happy to have. It's a little different than the Star Trek ships, but because they're each in kind of that little box thing. And
those are like little mini dioramas.
They're a little idea, and they're so freaking cool. I mean, it's just, and also, like I said, there's so many obscure Batmobiles that, like I said, no one will ever make again. Everybody makes 5 Batmobiles, and they keep making the same 5 Batmobiles over and over again. So that was something that was really, really cool, and I think that's probably why I bought into the Star Trek ships as much as I did.
But I also think you and Barry, I think you all, certainly more than I do, I think you guys wrote... Well, Todd, I think you rearrange, and Barry, I think you rotate stuff.
Yeah.
You
do not.
I don't really. I mean,
it amazes me when I go over there and the case to the right of your desk appears the big large cabinet, the built-in cabinet. Okay,
yeah.
to your right, immediate right. It's like a time capsule. There's stuff there's figures in there that in my opinion, are poorly posed, that have been poorly posed for 10 years.
But some of them have just drooped over time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That are just like, they look a little bit like they're about to fall over. I think one of the, either the Buster Crab Buck Rogers or one of those figures like that, it takes all my willpower.
But why would I just don't get the idea of rearranging them? Those are all things I still like, all things I collect. Yep. Why would I take them out to put them back in again? I don't do that. And then the other one is all Adventure Team G.I. Joes that they're not going anywhere, so they're there.
Those, I got to say, those, other than when somebody drops something, I've got 3 shelves of G.I. Joes, and those don't get touched.
But Barry, you rotate stuff out. See, I made a thing. I don't know how many years ago it was. I'm like, if I'm not displaying it, I'm not keeping it. That's when I made the first attic purge. That's not exactly. I did keep all the 9-inch Star Trek figures, but I let go all the Playmates, all the 3 3/4 Star Wars, all the other obscure shit that you bought one of, and all the GI Joes, what's those 90s GI Joes and all that stuff. Classic collection, all of that's gone. So it wasn't displaying it, so why keep it?
Well, I rotate, but I'm rotating less and less because the things that I really am interested in right now are taking up so much space that there isn't a lot of rotational space available. I mean, I just added, like, where you guys replaced D-Tolfs with these new cases, I added a new case that wasn't here.
I replaced other things, but...
Well, Todd did, but...
I did.
Like,
I took a bookshelf out and I put in one of the Ramona cases just for the X06 figures.
Yeah. I mean, I just added a new case into this room. I had a rack of guitars that were in here that are now out by my drum set, and now I was able to put another display case in this room. So I've actually added display space. But yeah, I'm busting at the seams. Like I don't.
Yeah. I've
got room for like maybe one or two more display cases that I could possibly get into my basement, and then I'm at max capacity.
In the basement. This room is. Well, no, I can't. That white shelf, which I thought I'd replace. You guys don't know what it is, but there's no way. That white shelf is probably 3 Ramona cases worth of shit. Because it's 6 feet tall and 4 feet wide, and it's filled with random shit.
If I were you, Dave, I would seriously think about replacing the 2 Detolfs with a Ramona.
There's 3 Detolfs, though.
It's 3?
Yeah, it's 3.
But
okay, now that we found these taller ones that have the extra shelf, Dave, that
see, the problem with that is this one's got stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
So taller.
I'm saying where the white shelf
on top.
Where the white shelf. This is riveting for everybody. Where the white shelves are, you could get those tall ones.
Oh, well, only one would fit there, and that's not going to do it.
Yeah.
But my 3 Detolfs cover a window. I mean, like, there's no light in this room.
Oh, yeah. The same thing. One of those huge Pulaski cases covers a window I haven't opened in 10 years.
It's right in front of it.
Yeah, well, and I used to have 3 IKEA Billy bookcases across the wall that I'm facing that covered a window in here, and I don't have that.
That's okay. Sunlight is maybe good for you. That jury's out on that. But it's bad for figures. So
and I'm in a basement anyway, so the window I don't really get a lot of sunlight through it.
But then the other problem
should be an egress window, and it's not. So I may go down with the ship at some point.
I don't have wall space either. I mean, I'm out of wall space.
Yeah, and I have the issue of having pitch ceiling. So I'm
actually glad now. All the stuff that. I'm happy with the height of these new Ramonas because they're 60.
Right. Yep.
But I have you can't see. I have that's a slope ceiling, but there's enough above it. All those, that's autographed Ghostbusters that it was behind something before.
Yeah.
There's Leonard Nimoy autographed in William Shatner that you couldn't see. Now they're all on the top. I think that's a much better display.
No, that is good. I mean, it's all about maximizing the space that you have, I think, is really the key to it.
Yeah. If I didn't have this work table right behind me, I could do something like Todd has and put stuff in the middle, but I use that a lot. I don't know. I need more space.
But, I mean, food for thought. You have an entire workshop in the house. You don't need a work table in that room anymore.
You do. You need a work table. You use
I
your
do all
office.
Kinds of clean
you
stuff
work
in
that same kind of area. You get that one kind of space where you do your work in there, and then you spill out. When you're starting in the basement, I have basically a work table out here, and then I have a workshop in the basement, and like little projects you do here, gluing things and stuff like that you do here. And then you get out to the basement.
Electronics, I'll do there. But I don't know if I could do the stuff in the middle of the room.
Even putting together like figures, okay, you need a flat space to sit there and take the things out and do whatever like that. So it's hard. It'd be tough without that work table. So I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Though I do think you should put a Ramona there. But yeah, we all need like the TARDIS, display room. It's like it's a normal sized room in our house, but inside it's infinitely large.
Yeah, I should get rid of my '90s chairs, but they're very comfortable.
Yeah, and it works. It works. Oh, by the way, my tour group was very, very impressed with the bridge chair, and recognized 3 of the people recognized it immediately.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, it's funny the things that people. Oh, it's funny the things that individual people who are not nerds come over and pick up on. One woman was a coworker of mine. Saw your Mulder badge that you made. She said, "Oh, I love X-Files. That's really cool. Where did you buy this?" As a friend of mine made that, and it's like, oh, it's really, really cool. But it's just interesting to see the things that different people
people pick up on.
I've had about 14 people through here in the last month, which is really, really rare. I go months and months and months, and no one sees any of this. But like I said, it's school things, but it's also very gratifying when other people come in, and you get the wow thing for the first time.
Yeah.
So, and it's also, I think we are collectors, but we're also curators to a sense. where you in your mind the connection between these things, and you're figuring out what goes with what. It's not simply a space thing. It's a why do I put this here versus somewhere else, and we each have our own different ways of displaying things. It's like I kind of insist in all my figures being at least standing dramatically, if not posed dramatically. There's something, there's a head tilt, there's a body turn, there's something, or they're holding an accessory or something like that. Everybody's got a different way of doing it.
I think you have more breathing room for your figures. I'm at the point where it's just I'm trying to jam as many in, to the space.
Yeah. Yeah.
I passed the point of having breathing room between the figures a couple years ago. They were all just. It's like they're all standing around waiting for a bus or a subway.
No, that's the phrase I always use. It just drives me crazy. It's like so when they shouldn't look like they're waiting for a bus. I will say
they're all posed well, but they're all posed while waiting for the subway. One of the things
I really like about the X06 figures is because of the nature of Star Trek, they can look dramatic very easily. You just do a head tilt, you do an arm cross, you do whatever. They don't have to be fighting anything. They can just look like you can put them in a bridge pose, just looking a little pensive, and it works. But so
it's interesting. I wonder how. What if you had someone said, "I'm going to give you 100 by 100 blank room"? I mean, would that be even worse? I mean, sometimes the space constraints sort of make you do things that are a little more. I don't know.
Well, 100 by 100 is tough because
that's big. That's too big.
You can line the outside of all of that with great displays, but what do you do in the middle?
Like a big room. I'm just saying, like a big room.
I've seen. I guess this is okay to say. Sorry, Troy. I've seen pictures of Troy's room where he keeps his statues, and he's got rows. He's got rows of cases, and it's kind of cool. Like you've got to kind of walk through them and around them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's a, I don't have that kind. I do have one sort of floating case in the middle of the room, towards the middle of the room. But if I had more room, I would totally do that. If I had twice the width of this room, I'd have 4 cases in the middle of the room that you kind of had to walk around. But you also had the benefit of seeing the items in it from all sides. So,
yeah, I don't know.
You turned your couch sideways, Dave. No, never mind. No.
It's not a couch. It's 2 chairs. You know that.
Okay, 2 chairs. But I'm saying, it's like, back each one of those up with a Ramona. No, it's hard. And that's the other thing too. Is like it's you need to be, you don't want and some people have displays room. We know people like this, display rooms that are purely display rooms that they go in there and they just, it's all cases. And this is also my office. This is where I sit at my desk and where I record and where, but I want to enjoy this stuff. I want it to be all around me. And I've spent a lot of money on it, but it's also time. And there are also things that mattered to me to begin with. And that's why I bought them. It's like, none of these things were things that are like, oh, I just want this because it looks cool. There's a connection in some way.
No, yeah.
Every single item in this room. And then the room that I spill over into next to it.
No matter how much space you have, you never have enough space.
No.
I have an entire basement with 3 rooms, and it's not all wall to wall like this, but where there's open wall space, there's movie posters hanging on the walls.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's display space, there's display cases, and I've also, I've got music equipment that you guys don't have to tend with, but I've got guitar amps and guitars and drums and all kinds of, no matter how much space you have, you don't have enough space.
So one of the people that was over, one of the couples that was over, one said, "What's your favorite thing?"
No.
And I couldn't say what my favorite thing was. And I said, which, and they have 5 kids. I said, which is your favorite child? And they both looked at each other. Oh, we know which is our favorite child. With no hesitation whatsoever. It's awesome. It was great. And it was like, oh, we know. It's like,
that's a good question. I don't know what would be the favorite.
And we've talked about it before about what you grab if the place is on fire and stuff. And it's like, I should maybe have like a clothes basket ready or something like that, so I can grab every the things that. But it's hard now. I mean,
it's the collecting equivalent of a go bag, like
of a go. It's I mean, there are things in this room that are replaceable at a cost, but they're not going to be the same if I replace them. And I will say the props. I mean, like one in particular that's insignificant, but yeah, no, it's hard. It's hard. It's either all.
It is hard, and there's stuff that has high monetary value versus sentimental value. But and I've talked about it a million times on the show. The thing that I have spent the most time with is
yours is obvious. Yours is obvious, Barry.
Like I've carried that all over the country. I've been to not hundreds, but dozens of conventions like that. To me, that sentimentally. And talk about irreplaceable. There's like 30 autographs on there now.
Oh, there's no way that can be replaced. Yeah. And that's something that's But I mean, for me, like I said, it's there's a few props that again, most of this stuff ultimately I could track down and find replacements for. I wouldn't, but I could. But yeah, no, it's hard.
That's a whole other topic. But if this all disappeared on me tomorrow, I don't think I could ever do it again.
No.
It would break my heart too much to go back and build it all over again.
And I will tell you, I kind of did the experiment, or at least a thought experiment a few months ago of saying, okay, I need to weed this out. And I took out my spreadsheet. I went through and I figured there were 2 figures I could part with. I mean, it's just
I did the same experiment and I maybe came up with 5 or 6 that I was like totally comfortable getting rid of. But yeah.
So I could get rid of figures, I think. I mean, now it's the more the original props and stuff that and again, and most of those are replaceable. And
but you're also deeper, more invested in that, I think, than either Tyler or I are. I mean, I like them a lot, and I do own a few, but I'm not like I don't have that many.
Yeah,
this is my most irreplaceable. I'm pointing to my Death Star tile.
I mean, really, I guess the only thing, if I had to grab one, would be the G.I. Joe artwork. That is irreplaceable.
That's a one of a kind.
That's the only thing that's really one of a kind.
Yep.
So
it's
although the Adam West signed Bat Shield,
none of us ever have to contend with that.
Yeah, let's hope.
Anyway, all right. Well, I mean, this was more about us talking about stuff because we've all sort of upgraded our display cases, and it's a constant thing. It's a constant thought of I want more. I don't have enough space. It doesn't tend to stop me, but I'm
also trying to get better at moving things out to bring new things in versus just bringing things in, but. Look, we know that a lot of the guys and people that listen to this show collect, so let's hear from you. Tell us,
what do you do?
How do you display? Send us pictures of your displays. Like, share it with us, and we would love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because, we're all in this too much, we're never going to have what's in the box again because we're stopping buying things. Exactly, the laughter, because that's not true. Let's do a quick round of what's in the box.
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Okay.
Todd, what's in the box?
Okay. So, Daredevil Born Again merchandise is finally coming out. I've got a number of different things on pre-order. Thanks, Barry, for giving me the heads up on the helmet and the
helmet. Yeah,
is that up for pre-order already?
Yeah, it is. And so I got that coming, and I've got a couple Marvel Legends figures. But my first Daredevil figure has arrived.
Oh, jeez.
I was very, it's like so. Anyways, this is going to go on my shelf at work. It is the bobblehead Daredevil pop. So he's so that's right.
His feet move quick.
Oh yeah, and if he gets bored, he can hang out with the Kingpin. So
there you go.
Yeah, so
nice. Barry, what's in the box?
Well, you said quick, and this one's not going to be quick. This one requires a few minutes. But so I got a new Hot Toys figure in the mail. I opened it. I got it last week. I opened it this morning from Fanboy Collectibles. I always say it was 330 days from the day that I ordered it to the day that it arrived. That's actually not that bad in Hot Toys time.
No, it's not.
It's really not crazy. This is a figure I've wanted forever, and I'm glad they made a 2.0 version. This is the T-1000 Terminator figure. Now, last week I was complaining about the value for the Han Solo Endor figure. This figure is the opposite side of the spectrum. This figure retails for $330, which is a lot, but the package that you get and the stuff you get with this is insane. And I know we always say, most of it stays in the box or whatever. They give you so many display options with this thing. It's kind of nuts. I can't believe opening it today and going through. I can't believe everything you get. So you get the full figure. You get two heads. You get the regular head and you get the head with the giant hole blown through it with all the chrome. And they both look amazing. You get two full uniforms. You get the uniform he's dressed in and you get the full motorcycle cop uniform.
Wow.
It's crazy. You get a second set of boots that are like melting into the floor grating. So if you want to display him that way, like he was when he was sort of glitching in the factory at the end of the movie, you can do that. He's got the hook hands from when he's chasing the car.
Please say the hook hands. Please say
the knife blade hand. He's got the two pointing finger hands. He's got all the regular hands. Beyond that, he's got 6 of these magnetic things that
are those I was wondering about that.
They're all magnetic, and his entire front of his shirt is magnetic, so you can place these things anywhere.
The bullet hits. Wow.
It's the bullet hits to make it look like he's. Now I know, Todd, you are not a fan of display stands, and this is a big display stand, but it's very cool, and the entire floor lights up. I'll send you guys pictures. It's super bright. It looks like the molten metal base from at the end of T2. And it looks great, and it shines an orange light up on the figure. Like,
yeah, that's worthwhile. That's
ridiculously good display base. Like, it's kind of nuts how much stuff this thing comes with for $330. And the Han Solo figure I talked about last week was $285, and he had almost nothing in the box. Like, and I get some of this is probably reused stuff from when they released him the first time. But
it doesn't matter.
If you've got another body, because it has 2 heads and 2 full uniforms, like you can display, you can basically put 2 figures together out of this thing.
My objection is more to display stands than bases.
Yeah.
Okay, that base is like a piece of a diorama.
And the
great. It's just I don't like is the big rod sticking up. That's clearly holding the figure.
Right.
And
the T800 that's coming, which I also have on pre-order, has the same base, so they actually can display next to each other. He's also got, and I don't even know if you'll be able to see it, there's a piece of his back of his head that comes off so you can get at the rolling eyes, but you don't see the seam when you magnetically attaches
really
back on. It's like it disappears. This is one of the best figures I've seen from Hot Toys.
I wonder if the price is got something to do with the license. I wonder if that's a whole lot easier license than
it could be.
Because it does seem that, like I said, that's a huge difference for what you're getting.
It's jam packed full of stuff. It's nuts. I mean, it's crazy how much it comes, and it's all good. Like I could easily see displaying him in the motorcycle cop uniform like that. All that stuff is great, and all the regular. And I've seen reviews where people were complaining that the stitching was too visible on the uniform. It's not. Like,
you really should make a second one out of it.
I might just pick up another body and put another figure together. But it's amazing. So I'm giving this.
Did you have the original?
I never got the original.
Okay, that's good. So you chose wisely. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I have the original T800, which the new version is a huge upgrade from it. So, and I have the unbattle damage. The one that I ordered was the battle damaged, but I actually put myself on the wait list for the clean unbattle damaged version just because they're so good. These figures are amazing. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I know it was long-winded.
I'm holding out for the Dark Fate version, but it's I'm sure it'll be nice too.
I hopefully they'll get that for you.
I would totally buy what's her face from that.
I actually hope that they go back and do a Sarah Connor, because the original Sarah Connor was not great, because it was early days of Hot Toys.
And that would be that actually would be a really good figure to do.
I wanted that Arnold. I never pre-ordered it though.
This guy is this is like a 10 out of 10 figure. It's so good. So anyway, Dave, what's in the box?
I just have something quick. I don't have much. This just came today in a bag, not a box. But I hold in my hands the Walking Dead Universe auction from Heritage. I have hardly. I would not buy anything, but just the size of this catalog, 650 pages of stuff. It's crazy how much stuff is in this catalog. And they go by season. So it literally starts with like the first image you see of that girl, the little girl with the zombie girl that he has to shoot, and then just goes crazy. I mean, we don't love Walking Dead anymore, but this catalog is just nuts.
When it was great, it was great.
It was great,
Oh, yeah, there's no question. I mean, it's honestly, I now have it kind of filed away with like X-Files, where I can think of it fondly from the era when
but it was disappointing.
But it just,
Tons of stuff that starts at $500. I'm curious if this is going to be Daryl Dixon's motorcycle, 10,000. Okay. I'm curious if this is going to be like the Game of Thrones auction, where it's like, holy shit, there's a ton of stuff, and it all sells, and it's all like record prices. I don't know.
I think it is. I have it in my head that it's going to be exactly that.
There's a preview tomorrow night that I was thinking of going to, but I don't think I can go. But anyway, yeah, that catalog was crazy. It's just gigantic.
Yeah.
Nuts. Anyway, okie dokie.
Hey, Dave, while we're, talking about displays, it would be wrong of us not to
admire your restraint up until this point, Dave.
it would be wrong of us to ask you.
Two different things, basically. But, I'm doing some stuff. Actually doing a cool Breaking Bad thing that I'll talk more about when I get into it. Big. It's going to be a big project with a lot of work, but it'll be fun, and I think it'll look cool. So something for Breaking Bad, and maybe something coming from a movie that could be controversial. I'll say that. But I did just finish. Got pictures back from the guy who did the clapperboard thing for Fast and Furious. That looks great. So yeah, if you need a display, a plaque for any of your kind of stuff, check us out from davesworkshop.com, and you could email me from davesworkshop@gmail.com and tell me the regular Joe sent you. So cool. And that's about it for us. We went long. We could talk about the displays and displaying shit and collecting shit for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, and
we cut it short for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah,
this is a little window into when we're just hanging out together, what the conversations are like.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.